Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show. Josh, we are in trouble. You know that? We're
Probably.
We're going to get reprimanded really, really bad.
Yeah.
Black shirts on.
Uh-huh.
Thought about that as I was driving here this morning, but I thought, Josh won't wear black, but I will. But hey, we both got black on.
There's an emergency blue over there.
That's all right.
If you need. Well, I'll take the punishment.
Well, Gus, bring it on, buddy. Bring it on. I think I know it's got a black background back here, but I think we turn in all right. It's that new camera we got.
Yeah.
And everything else, too. Let's tune in there. Hey, everybody, tune in. Thanks for tuning in. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Looks like Josh got some pictures over to talk about. The other thing I've got 10 tickets here to give away to the fight at the Cotillion here tonight that we're sponsoring over there. Justin Blevins, one of our salespeople, he loves boxing.
Okay.
We're putting on a fight. So we got 10 tickets, nice tickets, too, to give away.
Very
cool.
And
First caller, second caller, whoever calls in. If you want all 10, I'll give you all 10. But we usually start off with 2 per person.
2, yeah.
See how it goes. If you want more, whatever. If we give away more 10, I got more to give. I can tell you I can go get more. Let's put it that way. But these are the nice tickets right here coming in here. Section C1 and table. It's a table, basically, is what it amounts to.
Oh, gotcha.
So nice seats and everything else, too. So first caller, call in, tell me what you want. But we'll start with 2.
And so this is at the Cotillion.
Cotillion tonight.
And this is this evening.
Yes. Starts doors open at 5. Fight start at 6. Hey, a very cool thing if you want to do this too. At 3 o'clock today, if you want to come by the dealership, pick up your tickets. At 3 o'clock is the weigh-in, so you can see the fighters and stuff starting here at the store.
They do that here, right?
Going to do right here at the store at 3 o'clock. So you're going to come by at 3 o'clock, pick up your tickets, and see what's going on at the Cotillion tonight. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. Love to be there myself, but I'm going to be sweating in Dodge City racing. So, Josh, are you going to the fights tonight, Josh?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I've got had already had plans for this deal.
Sounds like a poor excuse.
It is. It's a poor excuse.
So anyway, 316-462-3673. Anybody wants to dive in on these tickets, just call in. I know you're supposed to call in with a question about your car or anything ailing your brakes, whatever it might be, tires, all that good stuff. But, hey, if you just want to call in and say, hey, I want a couple tickets, or you want to grab 4 tickets, I don't care. But it's a table seat, great seats. We're giving away for the Cotillion tonight. 5 o'clock doors open, 6 o'clock fights start. I think there's 14 people on the cards.
Oh, as far as matches,
whatever you want to call it. Weigh in here at the store at 3 o'clock. So come by 3 o'clock. You can check out the fighters weighing in, all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. Everything else too. First caller, 316-462-3673. It's on the screen. Call the front desk. That comes in there and let them know you got that. But also, Josh, each and every caller gets what?
Oh, so yeah, this is a call-in show. So
it's supposed to be, right?
Each and every caller that calls in, we're going to give you the prize package. So it's going to consist of the works, oil change, tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hamilton Ford. While we're performing that, we're going to complete a multi-point inspection on that vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related items on that vehicle, making sure that it's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll get yourself $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner. Complete nitrogen for the tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then CF5, I keep doing that, 44K for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. So,
all right, let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673. Get these lovely tickets, and also the prize package on top of that. Can't beat that kind of a deal. So anyway, Josh, I see you got a lot of things to talk about there too.
Yeah, I got a couple things over here to visit about for sure.
And the other thing I want to talk more about too, we talked about BG products, and we're going to talk about the new partnership that BG now has with Ford, which is very cool. So we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Got to give away these tickets and everything else too. So let's get the phones ringing. Let's get things happening. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, it don't matter. We're here to answer your questions and give you away all these prizes just for calling into the show. So good morning, Delbert. How's everything down in Oklahoma from that part? So, Josh, I guess let's roll to your lovely pictures. I say what that is, and I know what that is. So we want to start with that.
We can,
or you want to start with something else?
No, we can dive right in here.
Well, let's dive right into these lovely pictures you got over here, Josh. Oh, guess I'm going to have to do that.
Well,
you start talking about it, and I guess I'll bleed it in when I think I need to bleed it in.
So
you let me bleed it in already.
So that mouse I don't know. You're gonna have to use this deal up here. I couldn't get that mouse to work. So,
the other day I came in and put some batteries in. That thing must be a battery eating dude.
Yeah. So I was just using that. Hot. Yeah. Very hot out.
Albert, what do you mean it's hot?
We had definitely a couple of good days here this week for sure. I think for me the daylight starting to stay dark a little longer in the mornings and maybe get dark a little sooner in the evenings.
Yeah.
Hate to even talk about that, so we won't.
No,
but
we're not going to talk about that yet.
summer's
Jeff
still
Daniel,
here.
good morning, Jeff. Glad you're tuning in. And let's tune this up here real quick.
There we go. Yeah.
So, a picture that Josh wants to talk about today.
Yeah, maintenance.
What is that?
Well, that's something that we need to be doing.
That's something that's not happening.
Yeah, there is no maintenance happening in this specific picture. So a couple of different things in regards to this, but this vehicle came to us. It's a diesel, and so some further slides will kind of help maybe show a couple of other things. But the customer that has this diesel, the conversation that got me started in it was talking about the particulate filter and
for the
exhaust and how the customer was on a mission to get rid of the DPF system and delete it out and stuff like that is what brought the conversation on. I said, well, what's going on? Well, my truck keeps going into limp mode. Okay.
Makes sense. Why it's doing
so I was like, well, there's a lot of things that other than just the filter that could cause it to go into this limp mode. I said, don't just assume it. I said, let's look at it. Well, I've already had somebody kind of look at it, and that's what they think's going on with it. And, I can delete it for this. And I said, well, here's my problem with deleting that system is
let's for listeners that don't know what that is, Josh, let's talk a little bit what the particulate filter does in a diesel and why it's there. That sort of thing too, you know what I'm saying?
So I really wish I don't remember exactly. I want to say 15. I don't. Maybe it wasn't quite that new when they started coming out with DEF fluid, diesel exhaust fluid.
It was 15. You're exactly correct on that. The filters came in 08.
Yeah, so they started in earlier, but essentially it's for all intents purposes like a catalytic converter in a gas engine, and it's to cut down on emissions. So it's the EPA trying to make these vehicles cleaner, more efficient. And so
I got to stop you there for a minute.
Go ahead.
I get it, what you're saying there, making them cleaner. Still the soot's being generated.
Well, you're just burning it out at a higher concentrated level.
The emissions are still getting out that tailpipe.
Shorter.
I don't care what you're saying. It's kind of like back in the day. Remember we had air pumps on cars?
Yeah.
So basically what the manufacturers did, they would pump fresh air into the exhaust system to lean it out.
You can't. How many air pumps did you chuck in the trash and put a different V belt on it?
None.
That's a lie, because I did.
I chucked a lot of them because the air pump was a manual air pump that ran off the motor, so to cut down on horsepower, everything else like that. But it pumped fresh air in the exhaust. It would fool the oxygen sensors thinking it was running leaner than it was.
Well, or cleaner than it was.
Yeah, but it's still the emissions were coming out the goddamn tailpipe. So we're still burning that stuff up, coming out there, but the emissions are still getting out of that.
So essentially now you go through what they call regeneration modes, whereas you drive the truck for so long and then all of a sudden now it goes into this regeneration mode. Now, what I will say is in the regeneration mode, I don't know if the theory is that it burns so much hotter during that mode, and so that it's able to burn off more of that emissions in the controlled canister, or
and it might be there might be I don't know the honest truth of
the science behind that, because when it goes into a regeneration mode, I mean, those exhaust, in fact, I remember when that first came out, and I'm talking, gosh, diesels were doing that. I remember at the Chevrolet store going to Collins, because when the buses came out, they were worried about all the aftermarket that they add on to those to make the buses out of them. They were worried about one exhaust, where the floor of the bus was, versus like catching the bus on fire. So there was a bunch of,
because it was 1,500 degrees coming out the tailpipe.
Yeah. And then the second thing they were worried about was it going into like a regeneration mode, and a kid, walking behind the bus or whatever and getting burnt. Yeah. And so I remember going out there multiple times over at the Chevrolet dealership doing different studies with them and manually putting a vehicle into regeneration mode so they could get temperatures at different places and kind of do a lot of research on that. but that would have had to have been, I mean, you're talking probably 2007, 2006, kind of around in there. I mean, it would have had to have been around that time.
But anyway, we got this big filter in the exhaust of a diesel that basically collects the soot, collects the emissions.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sensor on the front of it and a sensor on the back of it, so it kind of knows when it's getting plugged.
Yeah.
So then basically the system goes into when Josh is talking about regeneration mode. It throws a whole bunch more fuel down the exhaust. With that extra fuel, it burns. It just gets the heat real hot, and it basically just bakes that stuff clean.
It ignites the unburned fuel actually in the filter, in the DPF filter, and then all that soot that is baked on the honeycomb grids burns it off.
Yeah.
But I'm with you that when it burns it off, it's
still coming out that
comes out
tailpipe.
the exhaust. So I think you have a definitely a higher rate of concentration. That happens. So
okay. So now the regeneration mode changed a lot through the years as we went from 15 through there. So now we've got the DEF fluid, which is diesel exhaust fluid.
Yeah, and the DEF fluid is so basically it's a urea. So it's water and urea, and that it is injected.
It's called what again?
Yeah, European. And there's an actual injector
in the tank,
in the exhaust, and this cuts down on the emissions during the time that the truck is just normally running. And so I think that was a big change for a lot of people putting that in there. You tell somebody, hey, you got to put diesel exhaust fluid in your truck, and everybody looks at you like, huh?
You're crazy, right?
Yeah, you're crazy. And so they've introduced that into it. And also, with this, now there's multiple sensors because of the heats that the temperature gets to and stuff like that throughout that exhaust, where it's monitoring temperatures. And any one of those sensors can kind of put the truck into a limp mode if it sees a correlation between, one versus the other. It puts it into essentially a limp mode for protection, right?
So it don't hurt the truck.
Doesn't hurt the truck, doesn't burn it down, all that stuff. Well, time and time again, I hear people say, hey, I don't want that on there, which I can understand it from the convenience of the diesel exhaust fluid and not having to put diesel exhaust fluid in the truck. But also, every manufacturer pretty well has it to where you can run about a tank of diesel exhaust fluid to about a service interval. They're pretty close, depending upon how you're towing, what you're doing. Diesel exhaust fluid's pretty much available at every truck stop anymore, or place you can get diesel along those lines. So it's not like every 200 miles you're putting diesel exhaust fluid into something.
Yeah.
So from the stance of just not having to put the diesel exhaust fluid in it, I guess maybe the convenience side of it, but my side of it, so years ago, I would say, back in 08, 09, probably up to maybe, I don't know, 2012, like there was a lot of reputable companies out there that would sell you what they branded as a off-road, kit to put on these things that would eliminate the filter that was on there, get you the piping that was a direct fit to it, but then also the tuning of it. The tuning strategy of it.
Okay, so you got to tune the computer to react differently with what it did.
Without having all that stuff in there, like instantly, if you just unplugged it and took it off, like you can't drive the truck. It's not going to go anywhere.
Right. So it thinks it doesn't see the right sensors, doesn't see the stuff, so it's going to put it in limp mode and off you go.
So there were reputable companies out there that would produce and stand behind, the product that they sold you and honor what was out there. Okay, so if you're going to do that, all right. But now EPA comes and gets involved in this, and they shut all them people down.
Yeah, they're all done. A lot of people have been fined millions of dollars for doing it incorrectly.
Yes. For doing that, because they're finding everybody's using these vehicles on the highway, right? So there is nowhere right now that you could find a reputable place that's going to stand behind that tune and honor or warranty whatever they've done. And so now you have people that are just let's say, home doing this.
Cobbling it together.
Yeah, cobbling it together. So now, is there some of those that probably know what they're doing and would be okay and stuff long term? I don't know. The cause and effect to me, when you're in messing with the tuner of the computer, and these things are so finely tuned as far as fuel flow and performance and torque and horsepower. Like, if the manufacturer could make this happen and get 10 more horsepower out of something by tweaking something one way or the other,
They do it.
They thought that there was a long term, like, that was a sustainable solution for a long term durability on that vehicle.
They do it
100%. Yeah, easily.
But that's where the problem came into. These aftermarket tuner guys would go out there and tune up these trucks. Instead of just taking the DPF system out to make the truck run stock, they went in and upped the horsepower, did all the stuff. Well, guess what that all does? That voids all your warranties, everything that you just did to your truck. These trucks are $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 trucks today. And let's think about that a minute. But that's all that's done is put extra stress on the engine, extra stress on the transmission, transfer case, driveline, axles, everything. When you're pumping the extra horsepower that vehicle wasn't designed to do. And that's what I don't like about it. You're just taking so much life out of that truck. I know that DEF system is going to have a failure. Every mechanical thing that's out there today has a failure. Now, back in 08, 09, and 10, when they were just strapping those filters underneath there, the trucks weren't designed to that. The emissions come out and say, this is what you got to do. So that's how the manufacturers, it wasn't just Ford, it was Chevy, Dodge, everybody just slapped these filters under it. Well, guess what that did? That took away horsepower, everything else from the trucks. Now, today, these trucks are designed with that stuff in there to run that way, and running that DEF fluid through there is saving you fuel economy because you're not worrying about regenerating that DEF filter. Because I remember the DEF fluid kick in, if you're driving down a highway, say get 15, 16 miles a gallon, and it started in regeneration mode, and the dang thing can drop all 8, 7, 6 miles of the gallon as you're driving down a highway.
Yep.
From that part. So weigh out the odds how much more fuel are burning to clean that filter versus running some DEF fluid through it. I get it. If our trucks were pulling every now and then, we'll pull out of the dealership, head to a race, and all of a sudden it flashes up. Oh my God, we forgot to fill DEF fluid in. Wheel the thing back in, put DEF fluid in, and off we go. But it's just one of the deals with the emissions out there we have to do. But when you start altering a truck and the manufacturers deal with not the proper ways, the proper stuff, you're just taking life out of the truck.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. And then when you start putting more diesel fuel in the truck, all you're doing is burning. It's like I argue with Jake, and you got these diesel trucks out there. I call them the puffers. They puff out that black smoke. Yeah, the more fuel you put to diesel, the more it's going to burn. But there's so much more unburned fuel sitting around and building up the soot and everything else that stays inside that engine. Think what happens to that engine in 50,000 miles. Hello. Talk about maintenance. Okay, so we got enough on DEF fluids. Now we got to roll into this. So this guy wanted to get his DEF system taken out. And the problem I got with that too, Josh, I know I'm right when I get to this. He just had someone guessing what was wrong with it.
100%.
He didn't have anybody diagnose what's going on. Just like the other day, I got a guy, one of my customers up in Minnesota, calling me, mad as heck because his truck's going in limp mode. Okay. And he wants this DEF system. Nick, that DEF system out of there. No. Let's get it to the nearest dealer. And guess what we found? One sensor was bad. That's all it needed was one sensor put in. Truck's been fine. Everything else running from there too. You can't kill something because you haven't had it diagnosed correctly. And that's what that guy did there too. This damn DEF system, I get to get it out of here.
It can breathe. This truck could not breathe at all. Yeah.
So anyway, this filter, cabin air filter, right?
No. So this is the air filter.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. That's the air.
Okay. Well, let's talk about not breathing. Shit, I thought that was a cabin air filter for a minute. That's the air filter.
Yeah, this is
talk about lack of maintenance.
Yeah, this is the air filter.
Now, how much of that dirt you think got passed through that filter and went into the engine?
Yeah, 100%. And so
all it is this grit running through there, just tearing up your cylinders.
But we're ready to get rid of pay $3,500, $4,000. I don't know what the expense was going to be, but to jerk out the diesel exhaust filter system on this truck and get it tuned and get it deleted and all that stuff, and like it can't even breathe.
Okay, so now just to help everybody, on the top filter is all full of junk and everything else like that. The second half of that filter looks pretty clean. What's going on there?
Yeah, so basically on these filters, there's like two divisions of the air box, and it's almost like a secondary filter for a different location. So it kind of sucks in some warm air and then some cooler air and then combines it together, is what the deal is there. Yeah. And so the second side of that, the air box is more
ready for
more
the next
closed
picture?
off. Yeah, so you can go to the next next picture. So you'll have to actually do it over here. So you have to bring your mouse down.
Oh, okay.
Over here. So this is, and we maybe start with this picture here, probably the best. So,
okay. So explain. I know what this is. So tell everybody
this
what
is
this
the
is.
top of the valve cover, and there is in the diesels there is basically like a ventilation filter for the block. So like a PCV valve in a gas engine. So basically, it takes the pressure that's in the motor, and it gives it a place to uh, escape to, and then so it goes into this filter, and then from that filter, the the air part of it will vent back into the air filter side of it and go back into the intake of it, and then the oil side of it, in that filter, it separates it, and then the oil drains back down into the engine block. Well, as you can see here, I mean, you should be able to see down inside this engine from right here, right? So when you're talking about a truck
I'd hate to
that's
guess how many miles it's been, or we got to go back to the diesel. How many hours it's been on
yeah,
that diesel truck since it's had a oil change?
yeah. So you go back to you go back to your statement of saying the truck that just puffs a bunch of black smoke. That soot has to go somewhere. So this is the top of this is the mating side of that, where once the oil gets into this filter, that it allows it to drain back down into the block. But that's the passageways that allows that oil to get back down in there.
There's just a little bit of a opening right there,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
that it can breathe through. So I'm hoping you got a.
Yeah, there should be kind of an overall one. Okay, this is so the stuff laying on the rag came out. We took that out. So this stuff here, we pulled it out of this side of it, the drain back side of it.
Wow. Okay, I got to back up. What year and how many miles?
So this was a 17 truck, and it had 150,000 miles on it.
Okay, so we're doing oil changes about every 70,000, I would guess.
Yeah. But a couple of things to this. So one, if it's not able to escape that pressure with inside the crankcase, right? So it's actually putting an external pressure or an internal pressure pushing out within that motor. So like all your seals, all your gaskets, like all those things are designed to keep like the fluid in, right?
Yeah.
They're not designed to have pressure against them to pushing them out.
Yeah.
And so you're potentially causing, more leaks down the road. But I can't fathom this part of it in the engine, and then that thing running for very long and living. I mean, that is not going to that's not going to live long. And again, we're ready to put a $3,500 exhaust system on this truck, and that's not even what we needed, or
close.
what needed to be performed.
It's just like the other day. Yesterday I talked to a gentleman on the phone, and he was in Colorado. He ran by and had someone put a code reader in it. Tells me it needs a electronic steering module. I said, wait a minute, what do you mean? He said, well, I lost power steering. That's what they told me it needs because that's the code they got. I said, no, stop. That's the same difference that happened to this guy. Someone just took an example and thought, oh, that's all that's going on here. It's going into limp mode, so your DEF system's messed up. Yeah. There's so many reasons that diesel will go into limp mode. It's not just your DEF system's going to make it go into limp mode to get you there. You have to go through these flow charts. You cannot diagnose a car on a code reader. You can't diagnose a car with a scanner. The scanner helps you get down to the right code, but then you've got to go through the proper flow charts to diagnose what's really going on with the situation. So you're right, Josh. Here's $3,500. He'd rip the DEF system out, and guess what it done for him?
Still have
exactly
problems.
The same problem.
Yeah,
still exactly the same problem. So,
and then my other thing too is like, I cannot fathom the amount of life that was taken off this truck by its service intervals. And the fact that it had 150,000 miles on it and it looked like this, like is kind of an attestament to how well it was built to be that poorly maintained and still
run.
be
Well, that's why
still be operable.
I remember in 15 they came up and said these trucks were designed. Every component on the truck was designed to run 300,000, but it's not designed to run 300,000 without
like
maintenance.
That. Yeah,
without maintenance, can't happen. There's just no feasibly way possible. That's why these service intervals are so crucial today. The extra temperatures, the pull power, the time we spend, and I can still go back to the day when my dad was working with my dad in the service station. He'd come in about every 200 miles. We might put a quart of oil in it. We aired up the tires. We did all this stuff, checked all these fluids and stuff. Now we go 5,000 miles. We're bent out of shape. We come in because it needs a quart of oil.
Yeah.
For that part, but you cannot maintain these cars like you did years ago. You've got to maintain these things today. And the biggest thing I can tell you, diesel owners, don't pay attention to your mileage when you need to change it. Get your hour meter out there, and every 200 hours, change that oil.
Well, and it's a both thing, right?
Yeah.
So the other thing that just having this conversation and talking about tunes and stuff like that is how many times you've been involved in a situation where a customer wants to put exhaust on their vehicle and they think that's going to add more horsepower to it or whatever, but then looking at that air filter, like you got to be able to get it in and then to get it out, right? Like it's a match thing. You can't just do one side of it and think that you're going to make something better.
Yeah, exactly. You cannot you got to do everything together. Now, it's like years ago, Josh, we'd take the old air cleaners and flip them upside down, but we thought we were going faster. It's just because we could hear it more. We weren't going any faster. We just thought we was going faster from that part. So, hey, we're going to get Greg Murray on the phone here. Just John, or was it me? I missed the call.
That's Greg.
Greg. Yeah. Sorry, Greg. Get him on the phone here in a minute. Delbert Alt wants to know what's the cost to clean that up? Well, Delbert, to clean it up right.
Well,
it's crucial. I mean, critical going back through there. And BG's got a great product to go in, the engine performance clean. We first need to start with that, to go into that engine and put some EPR, which is engine restore, into that motor, let it run for about 30 minutes and drain it. And it's going to have that oil change about every 100 hours for a little while to keep freshening everything out of that motor and get it clean. So I'm going to tell you thousands of dollars to clean it up correctly. Now, what we actually did to the guy, what the guy would spend, is a different ball game.
Yeah.
That's what it would take to fix that truck correctly.
Yeah. And then at some point too, you got to think, okay, well, is it just better off to, I guess, get what I get out of this and then start fresh with a new engine, or, you know what I'm saying? Or if it's been maintained like that, the transmission and stuff's not far behind it either. So
anything been serviced.
Yeah. So, hey, let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Greg. Greg, good morning. You're on Live with Under the Hood.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's it going?
Great.
Perfect.
Good. So I know sometimes you guys talk a little bit about the types of things that we like to see in our cars, new technology and stuff. But I've spent a little bit of the summer traveling since I'm a teacher, and I got to thinking about something that if Phil could just pass it along to Ford, I'd kind of like to see what Google Maps or Apple Maps does, where when there's a speed trap coming. If we could get that worked into the navigation system on my Ford, it'd be real handy.
I thought of the same thing. The other thing I thought would be real handy the other day when I was driving too, Greg, kind of along the same lines with Google Maps and all that kind of stuff. Because I plug my phone in every time I get in, or the wireless CarPlay plugs it in. And, I started talking about, I don't know how we got how did we go anywhere years ago? We had those maps and all that kind of stuff. I don't care where I go, somewhere in Wichita, I plug the address in so I know where I'm going, tells me how quick I'll be there, all that kind of stuff. But now with Blue Cruise, how cool would it be to let the maps
Not going to happen.
I know, but Blue
slow
Cruise,
you down.
Well, it might slow me down, but
no, I mean slow you down when it sees somebody running radar or something.
Well, hey, that's true too.
Yeah,
didn't think about that. That's another thing we could do too. But I was just, cause I'm driving that new Blue Cruise where it actually changes lanes for you now and everything else too. That if it knew where you were going, it would just do it for you, and you can just keep going instead of having to tell it to turn and all that. I bet that's coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I bet that's coming. But I'm with you on the nav side of that too.
So what kind of vehicle is he? What are you in, Greg?
21 King Ranch F-150.
Yeah. So I think you're going to get that on the 24 with the connected services. So the upgraded nav portion of it. So it actually uses the Google Maps and for the new Expedition, the Explorer. I've not been in one yet, but I'm pretty sure that's what you're going to go to.
Well, I need to think about it. I've drove a 24 F-150, but I'll have to go pay more attention to it. Not the 24 F-150.
Yeah, it'll be the Explorer, the new Expedition.
Okay, and then it's going to be in the 25 F-150.
Yeah, then. I would assume that they'll end up putting it in that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I have. I have the connected plus the embedded map, but I like seeing, gas prices and weather and all that stuff that comes with the connected services, but I don't get the speed trap ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, it does tell me traffic gains and stuff, but
yeah, I think Josh is right. I think in the 25s you're going to see that because they got the 25 Explorers here, the 25 Expedition, and the 25 F-150. Because they told us when we were at the last meeting we're at 1.2 on Blue Cruise and they're going to 1.3, and I'll bet you money that's what that is. Now you got me going. I got to go. I haven't drove a 25 Explorer yet.
Yeah, I've not either yet.
And try that too.
Well, I don't know if that's enough to upgrade, but
I get it, buddy. I get it. Anyway, hey, how about you want some tickets to the fights tonight at the Cotillion?
Yeah, you know what? I was talking with my son. He said, "Man, that'd be cool." So
I think it would be.
And actually, I already got the car off at the quick lane. So
okay, how many tickets you need, Greg?
Just 2 would be fine.
You sure? Okay, I'm giving you seat 1 and 2.
It'd be cool in the sense that it's an event. A cool event, but then also it'll be cool in the sense that it's inside in the air conditioning and it's 103 outside. So yes, you got it.
That sounds good. Do I need to come to the main dealership for that?
Yeah, just come by the front desk after we'll be done with the show. At 10 o'clock. And Josh has got them in his hands. We'll have them there at the front desk for you. And then tell your son if you want to come by at 3 o'clock before and do the weigh-in. That's a lot of fun. I've been involved in those, and it's a lot of fun with the fighters and coming in and getting their weigh-in and stuff. You don't have to, but you'd love to. But the gates open at 5 o'clock at the Cotillion. Fight start at 6. We've got some more tickets, so let's get the phones ringing. So, Greg, have fun.
That sounds cool.
Thanks for the input, and talk to you soon, buddy.
Thanks a bunch. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. And we got another caller coming in, and we'll get him here sent in here quick. I wonder if he's wanting tickets too.
Yeah, we'll see what's on Jason's mind. So, you talk about features and stuff like that. What's a feature? We'll get with Jason first, and then I'll ask that part of it. So, hey, good morning, Jason. You're on live with Under the Hood.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Doing great.
Hey, question. So, my service manager bought a 2021 GMC AT4. And when you pulled the tailgate down, it had a speaker on the tailgate. And I thought, who would have thought of that? And my question is, has Ford ever thought about doing anything like that? Because I got to tell you, when I'm out there tailgating in K-State in Manhattan, Kansas, that would be pretty damn cool to have.
There is a lot of freaking features out there. I will tell you that. And it's I think what I think on stuff like that, I really think that's where this connected services are going to go with the manufacturers. And I think we're going to see more and more features become equipped on these vehicles, and with the information that they're able to access and gain through the connected services, they're going to be able to tell what the consumer's using and what the consumer's not using, and be able to kind of tailor make vehicles to that. So they're going to invest money in different options and features and functions, but then if they're not using them, they're going to pull those out and go somewhere else or do something else for sure. But a speaker in the tailgate, the lights back there, our outlets, those, I never really thought that was useful, but man, now that we got them, I can't tell you how many times I've used one of those outlets back there.
Yes, I can say, is that AT4 got a generator on it?
I don't know. I didn't look at all out of it.
I don't think it does.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, I'm not a GMC fan. I'm Ford all the way. So.
No, I get you. I used to be a GM fan because I sold them for so many years. Everybody's got a good product, all that kind of stuff. Everybody's got different features, different things from that part too. But I tell you, what I was going after there more than anything is that generator gives you so many more options of things to do on tailgate. And let's think about what all you could plug in.
I mean, you can bring the whole sound system, the whole house sound system, instead of just having a speaker back there.
Yeah.
And the funny thing about it is it's separate from the cab. I mean, you're not running off the cab of the truck. It's on its own. I thought, man, that is so cool. And I just thought, well, has Ford ever thought about doing something like that? Because that would be a really cool feature to have.
I agree.
I'm sure it'll come with a nice cost too. So.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, you want some tickets?
There's always a catch.
Yeah, there's always a catch. There is always a catch. When they say it's not about the money, it's always about the money. Hey, you want some tickets to the fights tonight?
I'm good.
You sure? All right.
I got a prior obligation I got to go to tonight.
Well, Josh has got that same thing going on.
Take all your prior obligations with you.
Well, bring about 20 family members that are in town from Kansas City? I don't think so.
20 family members, there might be a fight.
Right there.
There might be a fight amongst the family, given the right situation. If it was mine, anyways, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, guys, I appreciate you taking my call, and have a good Saturday.
Hey, you too. Have fun with your family, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Talk to you soon. All right, 316-462-3673. We got some tickets here to give away for the fights tonight at the Cotillion. Weigh-in is here at the store at 3 o'clock. Gates open at 5. Fight start at 6. All you got to do is call and say you want some tickets. Got some more right here. Free tickets to jump in. These are nice table tickets, too, so don't want to miss out there, too. 316-462-3673. Jump on in here. And if you want to tell us the same time, I think where Josh was going is what's some features you want to see on some.
Yeah, where I was headed with that is what do you think's missing? What's the next thing you want to see?
I told you I was driving 24 F-150.
Well, so you're just saying like a better Blue Cruise, right? So what's
I
something
just want to be able to go into the phone, tell it I'm going to XYZ address,
and then it takes you there.
It just takes you there. Now, I know that's autonomous driving, but that's not what we're talking. Blue Cruise, because Blue Cruise isn't everywhere high, whatever. But I was just thinking about that because I was driving down 35, and I needed to get off to go east on 50. And I got to turn the turn signal on, so it knows I need to turn. Well, if it knows I'm going there, why would it turn signal on for me and go? I mean, right now, if I had this happen to me the other day too, Josh. I shouldn't say this, but I got to say it's kind of funny. But I'm cruising down the road, got the Blue Cruise hooked up, everything's rock and rolling pretty good. And that dang thing beeped at me, told me I need to pay more attention. But I think it's a little lenient on when it's watching me or whatever. But that dang thing turned the flashes on it, started shutting me down. I don't know what really happened.
So you ignored it, huh?
Yeah, I did. But it does work, I will tell you. The flashes come on. So if they can turn the flashers on on that kind of deal, they should be able to turn their turn signals on and move the directions and where we
Imagine what happened if Mary back talked like that. Anyways, so where I'm headed with this is I don't understand why they haven't done this already, but rear view mirror that is electronically adjustable so that like when you do a key fob, the memory 1, memory 2.
Oh, yeah.
Like why is that a thing? All your mirrors adjust, all the seats adjust, all the, you know what I'm saying?
Jim tried that years ago. Remember that?
Man, I don't ever remember. Was that years and like you're talking 90s, right? Well, are you talking the memory seating?
It did the seats, it did the mirror, it did the heating and air.
But I thought I was talking about
not the mirror. No, that mirror didn't do.
Mirror.
They did the mirror, outside mirrors, but it did not do the upside. Yeah, that's a good call.
So I go through. We pick up a lot of vehicles and stuff around here, and deliver them and get them where they're ever. And I just have a huge habit of when I get into a vehicle, like I don't touch anything. If it's a customer's car, I won't try not to change the radio. Don't change the mirrors, the seats.
It's just rude.
I mean, to me, like because of my height, there's instances where I can't get in a car. So in that instance, I'll move the seat back or something like that. But for the most part,
that's not where I thought you were going.
Yeah,
that's all right.
I have drove I've drove many cars with my knees, crammed up in the steering wheel just so I didn't have to change anything. But my wife, man, anytime she gets in a vehicle, that's the very first thing she changes is mirrors. She could go 2 blocks and the mirrors are going to be adjusted. The rear view mirror is going to be adjusted, whatever. And so every time I get in a vehicle after, everything's got to be all changed. Up. Yep. So, but I think that's something that I'm just shocked that nobody's done that. As electronic as everything else has been and upgraded and for feature comforts and stuff.
I think it's because we rely so much on that dang backup camera.
So you don't think people use it?
Oh, I don't know. I use it.
Well, so the backup camera, for backing up. But as far as like rear view mirror on just driving down the road and what's behind you and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
I just incorporate that rear view camera into the inside mirror.
So a lot of GM does that. In fact, GM on their rear view mirrors. And maybe that's something on their rear view mirrors. A lot of times it's a cameraed image in that mirror. So it's not even, it's a rear view mirror, but when you put it in reverse, the mirror fades out and the camera part of it comes in and you just see the camera backing up, but you still going down.
I'm not talking about just backing up. I'm talking about driving down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think they need to have it be electronic and then put with your settings for 1 and 2. And that's just a taller husband to a shorter wife conversation. Maybe not everybody has that problem. I don't know.
Oh, I think we probably do, Josh.
Yeah.
I think we probably do. Say 316-462-3673. You got some lovely tickets to give away if you want to go to the cotillion tonight and watch some guys beat the hell out of each other. That's all it takes. Call in 316-462-3673. And we'll give you these tickets for coming in. Or if you want to talk about some in your car, tires, brakes, batteries, I don't care. We can talk about anything you want to talk about, anything in automobile, racing, anything. Let's get the phones ringing. 316-462-3673.
Didn't you tell me your dad used to box?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Trust me. I know that. I know that feeling too.
Well, not you.
Oh! Don't kid yourself.
No. I know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I wish I could have talked more to him about that kind of. I shouldn't really say that, but I mean, it's kind of cool to find out. But I do remember him telling me. He says, he said I didn't get beat very often, but he said I will tell you the most pain I ever went through was the littlest guy ever. He said I thought I had him whipped ass. He said he whipped my ass.
It was walking into the ring thinking you had it, right?
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. So, yeah, he did. He used to, and I don't know if it was open fist or had boxing gloves on.
Oh, just
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I said I didn't get enough information from him. I think it was done right there in Bentley too. I believe.
Really?
I think so. I think that's true. I think all those guys that want to talk about that anymore kind of all passed.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Understand that.
Stuff too. I think my dad made a few enemies over that deal. Can you imagine that? Huh?
I don't know, man. You get in a ring like that, or just in the heat of the battle, like I think it would be hard to keep a level head on that deal, for sure. It would definitely take some sportsmanship to be able to shake hands at the end of something like that, for sure.
I still remember the very first MMA fight we had here at the store.
Yeah.
And we had the fighters meeting, whatever you want to call that, upstairs, and it was in Lisa's office. And I went up there for that deal. And I'm telling you, what word do I want to use here? The adrenaline.
Camaraderie?
No, not even that. Not yet. The camaraderie always came at the end of the fight. We still blew me away, beat the hell out of somebody, and then you go over and hug them. And
yeah.
But anyway, they were up there doing that meeting. And I'm just there thinking about, hey, they're just going to start beating on each other here. They're all in the same room.
In the meeting.
Yeah, in their meeting. Is it adrenaline or is it just
animosity?
Yeah, I don't know. I had to leave. I thought I was going to throw up.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it was just that kind of an intense kind of a deal. So I didn't go to the
the way they were talking and carrying on.
Yeah,
or
they're in there sweating in there, and you can just see them jawing each other and thinking, God damn, I gotta get out of here.
They're sitting there like, I want to get you type deal. Really? Huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was intense kind of a deal.
But it's no different than any other sport, though. You know how much of a head game that would be?
95% head game every time I tell you. That's what I say to Jake when he gets in that race car.
Yeah.
It's all mental. So anyway, tickets to the fights, 316-462-367, and table seats. So they're nice tickets. Here at the Cotillion tonight. Weigh-ins at 3 o'clock here at the store if you want to come by and check that out. Or gates open at 5 at Cotillion. Gates fight start at 6. Here you go. Delbert, what's Delbert got to say there, Josh?
Says there's a vehicle out there that they use the camera as a rear view mirror, and as you rear view backup camera, I do not remember the maker model, but they did that so when you had passengers in the back, you didn't have to look through their heads to see what was behind you. Yeah, so the Chevrolet does that. Especially on that new Corvette that they have, you can't see anything out of the back of that thing. And so when you put that in reverse, the rear view camera comes up, and also it is the camera in the back is displayed in the rear view mirror as well. So yes, that is.
Yeah, and I've seen some other cars like high end, like Mercedes and stuff. Like I drove one of them was here a year or so ago, and it had that up in the mirror. It really wasn't it was a real picture, but it was so
enhanced.
There you go, enhanced from that part too. Which honestly, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hate to guess what that cost to put in there, but
yeah.
So that's another thing I think the manufacturer's looking at, just the cost of sometimes what we're putting these cars and stuff too, because
be able to do that
from that part. So anyway, okay, Josh, what else we got to talk about? We're running out of time. I still would love to give these tickets away, but I guess no one wants to go to the fight tonight. They're kind of like you, Josh. They all got prior commitments, is what that is.
A lot of things going on this time of year for whatever reason. Man, I just cannot believe that we are approaching the end of August. We need to talk about next weekend, and kind of what you got going on there.
Yeah, I guess we can sum that up. We'll be live again Wednesday for the update on Salt City Racing. Got some exciting stuff coming there already too for that. And then next Saturday we're going to be live from Boone, Iowa. IMCA has called us and asked us to bring our show up there, so we're going to be live from Boone. We'll fly up Friday to get ready to go race Saturday afternoon, called the Prelude Race. Then we'll come back, and then we'll be back in the store just for Tuesday because we're closed. The store is closed next Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for everybody. The whole store is closed on those 3 holidays. So thank you, Lisa, for giving those days off. It's really cool, real fun from that part. So that's the hours of the dealership. Next Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're closed. And then next Wednesday, if we have time while we're at Boone, if we're not racing, because that is our first night to start racing the modified, we will do another live show on Salt City from Boone. But if we're racing, we can't do it.
So remind me again, when you on this Prelude, do you have to win it, or do you just have to get a certain ranking to be?
The Prelude is just a pre-race to the Boone National to kick off. Basically,
but it also can't you get position in the Nationals?
No.
Oh no, it nothing to do with each other. Okay,
nothing
so it doesn't matter how
separate,
you do.
Separate race, separate stuff, and it's kind of how I look at the car: is get up there, get situated, get a race under our belt, see what the car is doing, see where we're at, because we've not raced this car at Boone yet. So that's another good time for us to get up there. Basically, I look at the Prelude as just a practice night for us.
Get to know the track.
Never really tried to do anything really spectacular. We try, I'm going to be honest with you, we always throw a different setup under the car to see what it's going to do for that race. See if it works or it don't work.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Monday is, then Sunday, they will do races Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of 4 different classes, which I don't know exactly what classes they are that race.
But just as practices? Or
no, those are actually
really?
That's their races for Boone Nationals. Super Nationals is what they call it. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is our races, and then Saturdays is the big race at the end there, and you got to get qualified for the top. I believe they start 33 cars in that race on Saturday. That's what you're all tuned in. That's what we're trying to do, is just get to start that race. We missed it just by about 10 spots last year to get into the race, which is, I guess, better than we did the first year.
Yeah.
So this is our third year to head to Boone. So anyway, keep track of that. We will be live next Wednesday here at the store for the Salt City Racing update. Got a couple things, exciting things coming there. And then next Saturday, we will be live from Boone at Super Nationals with the Prelude race coming up. And then next Wednesday, the following Wednesday, if we have time to do a show, it depends on what's going on with Team 3J. If we're racing or not racing on Wednesday evening at 6 o'clock, we'll do another update there from Boone. And then, of course, the following, like the 5th, I guess I get my dates out there too here.
Got to be the
7th, we will be live again from Boone to actually give you updates there on what's happening at Boone Nationals and the Super Nationals, the big race of IMCA from that part too. So 31st, we will be in Boone. The 4th, will be live back here at the store. And then the 7th, we will be live back at Boone at the Super Nationals, giving you updates from their part too.
And then just one weekend after that, you'll be Salt City will be running again.
September the 20th is the next race for Salt City Racing. Get ready for that. It's going to be fun and exciting. And then we got our October 5th race at Salt City. Going to be an open mod show, and I got a couple classes I can't confirm yet because we just haven't quite locked it down, but going to be a couple more classes put in that October 5th race. Going to be pretty fun too. So lots of updates, lots of stuff. Stay tuned to all our channels and everything we have tuned in. Keep live on Facebook with us. Like us all of our pages from Mel Hamilton, Mel Hamilton Ford Racing, and Salt City Racing, to keep that all live. You want to watch it on Facebook, you can watch it on YouTube. They're all out there from that part too. And don't forget to check out our new supercharged trucks that are sitting out there.
That gold one, I think, looks pretty good.
I walked back here in that shop and I seen just the gold wheels on that truck, and I wanted to puke. But now that's all said and done, it looks pretty good.
Really?
It does look pretty good.
So which one out of all of them?
Chrome.
Yeah.
I don't have one.
I know. Yeah.
There's a black and a gold and a bronze is what they got. Now we've got a silver truck. The pictures on the webpage, but the live pictures are not there yet. We've got a one that we just put wheels and tires on, and a blower and an exhaust on it to make it a little bit more inexpensive than what these other trucks are. But these, I will tell you, there's a huge difference in those two trucks. We got a little, we posted the first truck with the black wheels and got a little flack about our price and all that kind of stuff. But everybody wants to throw out a low price. I didn't build a truck to be cheap. I built a truck to be performance and ready to go and the right stuff set underneath it. I didn't build a cheap truck.
Yeah.
Now the silver truck is a cheaper truck. All it's got is a blower on it, some wheels and tires, and an exhaust. We did lower the back down a little bit, But I'm telling you, I've drove both the trucks, and there's a night and day difference how them black and bronze trucks hold, because the suspension and everything we put in those trucks is a totally different truck.
Yeah.
But again, if you just want to go fast and burn some tires, get the silver one. It's a lot cheaper. I get it from that part. But I didn't go out to price compete against anybody wanting to build these trucks cheap. I went out to get you a good performance truck you're gonna love, you're gonna enjoy, and have fun with. Everybody wants to beat up about an XL truck. Hey, you know what? That's what everybody's building, is an XL truck.
Be durable and reliable too,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
exactly. So it's a fun truck, and I drove them all. I'm telling you, they're all fun to drive. They're all fun and cool, and to have 725 horsepower in a 4-wheel drive truck, look,
Yeah, watch out.
So hang tight and all that kind of stuff. So the silver truck is on the webpage, but again, it has not got real pictures on it, but it should be up there by Monday noon or so. You'll see the real pictures. The prices are all out there now too on the 2 trucks. From that part, on the 3 trucks that we have, we've got a lot more we're building and stuff. We got a lot more sold trucks already sold and done. So if you want to come down and talk to us about one of those supercharged trucks and how you want to build your own or whatever, we can do it. I've got the trucks coming. A lot of stores don't have the trucks coming. I found a loophole how to get those trucks. So come see us on the supercharged F-150s. They're on the showroom floor, and they are pretty cool.
Yep, very much so.
Everybody, have a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Again, Wednesday, Salt City Live on this Wednesday, the 28th. The 31st will be live from Boone. And then on September the 4th, if we have a chance to go live down there at Boone again, we'll go. But then again, on September the 7th, we'll be live again from Super Nationals at Boone, Iowa, which is a fun time, everything else like that. Everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry we didn't give away all the tickets, but if you still want to come by the store, I might even just give you the tickets. Come by the front desk. We'll give you some tickets. Go to the fights tonight at the Cotillion. Sponsored by Melhound Ford. Going to be a good time. Gates open at 5. Fights start at 6, and the weigh-ins are right here at the store at 3 o'clock. We're going to come by and check out all the fighters and stuff as they do their weigh-ins. Everybody have a great Saturday. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you Wednesday and maybe Saturday at Boone Nationals. Guys, have a great weekend.